What's up? Good morning. Happy President's Day. And welcome to another episode of Taking the Over with Billy Gunn. I am your host, Billy Gunn, on this, the official sports wagering podcast of Boot Crew Media. Joined, as usual, by my co-host, T. And this morning, we have a gambling Twitter icon joining us. A very, very, very humble man, a very knowledgeable man. One of my favorite follows on gambling Twitter. Huge fan and very, very excited that he's taken some time to join us this morning on this special Taking the Over. We are joined this morning by John Hyslop of oddschecker.com. You can find him on Twitter at Slop Rules. If you have not yet followed him on Twitter and you are a new gambler, new sports wagerer, old sports wagerer, he's an essential follow, because not only are you going to get that cutting edge smart info that you need, you're also going to get a healthy dose of humor and humility along the way. So John, welcome to Taking the Over. Thank you for joining us this morning. How are you doing?
There's a 0% chance I could possibly live up to that introduction.
That's what we do here.
I mean, that was about as good as it gets.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to need you to write my eulogy.
There's plenty more. I have a lot more. I have a lot more where that came from.
I can't wait to hear it.
Well, we have a tradition on this show. Usually we broadcast at night. And,
okay.
I'm a medical cannabis patient here in the state of Louisiana.
Okay.
And I'm obligated by my doctors to get very high.
Okay.
Over the course of the day.
Follow science.
Right. Yeah.
Listen to the doctors.
In the name of medical science.
Mm-hmm.
But it's 9 a.m. where I'm at on a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I don't see what the problem is.
I don't know. I mean, I should have woken up at 6 a.m. and taken my tincture then, so that it'd be hitting right about now. But no, you've got bright-eyed sober me, man. I'm glad to have you here, dude. Like I said, your information is helpful, but it's also incredibly humorous because you do not appear to take this sports wagering thing too seriously. And that's what I really respect, because there's so many people out there in the sports wagering world that, like, I'm a tout, I'm a this, I'm a that. And like, that just makes my head hurt and it really drives me up a wall. And a lot of times, like we were talking about right before we went on the air, in our primary market of Louisiana, we have a lot of new people to the world of sports wagering. We just got our app-based gambling NFL championship weekend. So we have a lot of people that are new to it. What kind of advice would you give to people that are new to the sports wagering world?
It's entertainment more than if you don't approach it like that, you're not gonna have a lot of fun doing it. I'll tell you that right now. It should be a form of entertainment. You should look at it as like you're going to a movie or a play, or whatever you do with your time. If you do that, you're going to be fine. Also, too, you're going to have to cut your bankroll. You can't be betting, half your bankroll on a game just because some guy on the internet says that he likes to play. That's just not how it works. Like, I do 1% of what's in my DraftKings account on a game, and that's right. It. And it's if I get smoked, I can laugh and just be like, man, that sucked. You know what I mean? Or if I win, then I can go on Twitter and not brag about it. So either way, you know what I mean? You're fine. You're going to live to fight another day, because that's basically what sports betting is. Like, you're going to have to live to fight another day.
That's a very good point. And it does feel like there's a thing out there. I know there's like such a thing as wager shaming. And that's something that I rage against wager shaming, right? Like, dude, bet whatever's comfortable to you and whatever works with your account. And like, because I'm about quantity, not quality of bets.
Mm-hmm.
I like to place a lot of dumb bets.
I just had action on the Mexican soccer game yesterday. It was glorious.
You want to talk about a fun day of betting yesterday? I've got this, as this bet was happening last night, watching the NBA All-Star Game totals. I thought about you coming on this morning. I was like, this is something that Slop would be proud of. So T and I both bet the total over in the NBA All-Star Game last night. I believe it was 324.
Had me at over. Yeah.
Yeah. I do. Well, it's it's a thing here. T took an under in the NFL Pro Bowl game.
Oh, that's
I'll never live that one down.
This really upset me a lot.
That's tough.
I don't typically get
It's
angry
happened to
about
most of us. I mean, I would say all of us because that's happened to me. But like, it's happened to most of us.
This was a choice. He made a choice.
Historically, again,
I don't wanna hear
the under was hitting, so I went with the trends and I got burned. So
we went. So we both
looking at
placed
stats.
We both
got caught.
Stats are for losers.
with your information, your data.
I mean,
All right. So the lesson learned is trends mean nothing in the Pro Bowl All-Star game. What have you? Don't go under ever.
Well, he hit us with some trends yesterday. He hit us with some trends yesterday on the total for the over in the NBA All-Star game, which I'm all about. It was 324, and we had like some inexperienced gamblers like reaching out to us going, I'm very afraid to gamble, but I want to take this over in the NBA All-Star game. We're like, you've got to. Take this over in the NBA All-Star game.
Just
Can't
watch
lose.
it without action.
Yeah. You're going to sit through a 7-hour halftime with no action in the second half?
Not smart.
Rooting for defense in an All-Star game.
Right. So I think he's like, historically this game goes to like 340 or 360 or something like that. It was 324. We placed this over. I think it was at the end of the first quarter or maybe at the end of the first half when they're like, oh, by the way, we've changed the scoring rules.
Scoring, yeah. I got a few DMs about
this. We've changed the scoring rules this year to whoever's in the lead at the end of the third quarter. We're just going to add 24 points. It's going to be a race to 24 in the fourth quarter. And
so then you start doing the math, and you're like, wait, you get the calculator out. You're like, all right, so wait, they got
there was some math.
You could have live bet the under at the end of the third quarter. It would have been a lock if a book was offering it because it couldn't have physically gotten past 323 and a half.
Math.
Do you think the books even knew the rules? Because I mean, it feels like because I got it at 324. I still get as high as 324 and a half.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, well, they're basically just again that math is going to creep back in, and they're just figuring out what they think the score is going to be at the end of the third quarter, and then adding, whatever it was. What is it? 24 points. You got to get in the fourth or something like that. 24.
Do
you know the number? Yeah, I don't even know the number, 24. But yeah, I know it was a locked number. And then you're just hoping it's not close, I guess, if you got the under.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a different way to bet it. That's all. You know what I mean? It's like you just have to consider different things. Like now you're wanting to blow out in the fourth if you got the under. Like you still could get it technically if it – does that make sense? Like if it was a certain number at the third quarter. Yeah. Like if it was a little bit higher.
Well, that's the thing.
I mean, it's still fun. It's still like you can still have fun with it, unless you don't know going in that's how they do it.
I didn't know going in. That's how they do it.
Yeah, like now we're doing math in the third quarter. Like it's the third quarter of the All-Star game. You may have had a couple beers already.
That halftime was so long.
The most fun.
The halftime
seemed to go on forever.
I was like, I'm going to go out to the garage and have a couple drinks during halftime, and then I got kind of disoriented. And then I came back, came back, and I was like, "This has been going on for the." Did my YouTube TV start over? Because the players like put their clothes back on. Michael Jordan's out there, like there's all kinds of weird shit going on last night, and it was the perfect storm of an completely uninformed bet. Which honestly, to be fair, I feel like I do better sometimes when I'm less informed. And the last thing I'll see on the NBA All-Star game total is I'd have taken the other over either way.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Did you have fun?
Oh, did I have fun?
You know what I mean? Did you wake up today thinking like, man, I'm going to be on my deathbed being like, why did I bet that NBA All-Star game? Like, no.
I got T to bet on NASCAR yesterday.
Yeah, no, I got a guy on Twitter, two guys actually. They're on one account. I'm Speedway Steve, 2, I believe. I'm betting NASCAR this year. I'm telling you guys.
I had a lot of fun yesterday.
That's just fun, man.
NASCAR is so fun to bet on because Barstool offers this. It's like car number over any number to win. So it's like 16 and a half. So any car number over 17 or up, and it's like you had Bubba Wallace, you had the 23 and the 2 were fighting it out and like lost by a couple feet at the end of a 3-hour broadcast. I mean, like to me, and that's like we're in kind of the winter doldrums for me of sports wagering because I'm a big NFL guy. All right, like the rest of the world. And then, dude, this is a tough time. Like, we've got the NBA All-Star break. There's no NBA basketball until Thursday.
College basketball, bro.
Oh.
NHL. these are things you have no clue what's going to happen. Soccer, no clue what's going to happen going into it. You know what I mean?
I was telling you the other day.
Just see what happens.
Fire up your copy of FIFA 2014 to get some good soccer data, and then fire off some same game Premier League parlays.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. It's just some of the guys like on Twitter, they'll go into like corners and stuff like that, and like even shots on goal. Sometimes I'm not sure, like, do I want to bet these? Because I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like people are like, hey man, you're good at soccer. And it's like,
no, I'm not.
Be careful, man. I don't know if you really get what's going on right now, because like that's just the reason I like soccer is because there's only certain instances that have to happen. Like last night, that over in the NBA All-Star game, 324. Mm-hmm. Think about what it takes to actually get to 324. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a lot of stops on the way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Whereas the soccer, you can get a good over of 1.5.
1.5. It might be minus 400, so you tie it to something else. Right. But like, there's like a million games, so just find a couple of them that you think there might be goals. You can get a guy to accidentally kicking in his own goal.
That counts.
That's a goal.
That counts.
Yeah. So I mean, now you only need one. Uh-huh. And it's like that. That's why I like soccer. Just because, like I said, the less amount of instances that have to happen is better for me, at least.
What's funny is we have a lot of UK listeners that are probably pulling out their hair right now because they're all like soccer experts.
They hate me too because I say it's easy, and they all get so mad. Like they get. I'm just kidding.
I understand you let your dog make some picks. Like I let my cat make some. My cat went 56% against the spread in the NFL documented last year.
That's
yeah,
good.
Yeah. He's going to wreck some shop
this year. Good cat. Keep that thing alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Long
that cat's life.
He's not yet 3 years old. So
you're all set. They live a while. Yeah,
you're going to be a profitable gambler for
have
years.
Like 20-year-old cats.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good diet, exercise. Like talk to them. Like let him listen to music and stuff.
Yeah,
whatever works.
He likes catnip.
Okay, give him catnip.
Give him some catnip. T, you got any what you got for John?
Where do I start? I think one thing you touched on too is looking at soccer. You look for the thing that's like less instances, right? So only over 1.5 goals. Looking at things like same game parlays, which are crazy popular now.
Everybody loves a same game parlay.
Is there a strategy you have when constructing those, whether it be doing more likely legs, so like 8 things that are going to happen, but only like 4 points a person, or whatever it is, or do you look at like a smaller number of things with less likelihood to happen?
I used to do 2 legs for like plus odds. So if you have like 2 guys that you think will get into the 20s, and let's say their number is like 13.5. But both you think might score 20 plus tonight. And if they kind of correlated, like if they were on opposite teams, then, if one goes in the 20, maybe the other does too. I mean, it doesn't really correlate that much. But again, you want, a high scoring game if you're going to have 2, fringe guys dropping 20s. But point is, you would get like plus 250 on each one of them. That's a good little same game parlay. And you only need 2 things to happen, like in terms of, what the legs are. Or you could go the opposite way and just try to get three legs that you're pretty sure of. Like if you get tight rotations, like the Knicks have, the Suns kind of have a tight one, especially when someone gets hurt. But when guys are going to get like 35 minutes tonight, if there's a guy averaging 4 or 5 assists, you think it's going to be a close game, you can take him at 4+ assists. You know what I mean? And then add to it. A lot of times you're not going to get the best odds, but you'll get something that has a really good shot at winning, and it's fun to bet too.
Yeah, I mean, so I know you have your like notebook of guys, right? So I know you love Mitchell Robinson.
Mitch,
one of your
he's on a first name basis with Mitchell Robinson.
Yep. So far, he's my MVP of the year. Ayo Dosunmu is also up there with him, but it's Mitch at this point. There's no better bet than Mitch in the NBA.
I'm going to challenge that. I'm going to say Jay Crowder rebounds.
Okay, I haven't really got onto that. I saw some guys posting those. Like, people like that one.
Yeah, Jay Crowder usually the total.
Walk me through that. So, like, you're sitting at your computer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you find that?
Well, I usually what happens. So again, is, I'm a research guy, right? So like the night before, I'll have been watching Phoenix, and I'll go, oh my God, I bet on Ayton to get a double-double, but this Jay Crowder guy has got 6 rebounds in the first quarter. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 2 times, will not fool me again. The next night I go Jay Crowder over 4. I mean, the guy, I don't know what's happened. He's an 8 to 7 rebound. He's that kind of guy. He only lets you sweat for the first quarter. I mean, he clears his rebound totals by half. Slop doesn't like that. Slop doesn't like it when it's prop bets cover early in the game. He wants to sweat it out the entire game.
We're paying good money for this entertainment. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not looking to what am I going to bed now?
I've done that before.
You only have that at 7 o'clock. You only have that one bet for the night, and the guy just over in the first quarter. Now what are you supposed to do?
That's a bad feeling.
Yeah.
Your props covered by halftime. You go to bed and wake up and you're like, fuck, I just won on my bets last night.
Yeah, but I was watching Netflix with my wife at 7:45 for the rest of the night. And she picks. So you're watching Emily in Paris and whatever.
Yeah.
You don't even know what you could possibly be watching.
You need the 10 p.m. tip to save you at that point.
Yeah, but then I haven't really thought about it, or I didn't like it going in. That's another thing. If you want to talk about inexperienced gamblers, don't be the guy that you hated everything earlier today, and then now you need I don't know, just going to just swing away at the 10 o'clock slate. Just if you're not going to watch it, then go to bed. But if you are going to watch it, maybe you find something. But if you're not going to watch it, go to bed.
That's one of our rules for sure. Is we rarely gamble on things we're not actively watching, because again, it's supposed to be entertainment. I'm not going to bet on something that I'm just checking the score on.
Yeah, exactly. It's not fun. I mean, there are certain instances where you would do that. If you had to go to a wedding or something, or I don't know, church, you might want to have something going on.
And these days you can watch it on your phone. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
you can be in church. You can be in church watching the ball game. I do this a lot. I take my child to volleyball practices, and then I go wait in the truck and I watch games on my phone.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong.
I'm not allowed on my phone.
That's healthy.
At the kids' sports. Not my rule, theirs. But I can do practices, just not the games.
Yeah, well, the games, they're in this stupid gymnasium that's made of bricks, and we get no reception.
No
in
reception.
There.
Yeah, you come out,
really
you're
cool.
You're in, I don't even know, a time warp.
Yeah, black hole.
You come out and it's what? There's a whole world going on around me.
I'm going to petition the board to install Wi-Fi within the gymnasium.
Yeah, no, that's big, man. Being able to check the scores. But yeah, I that's the one time I am able to literally put my phone away and just be I don't know, go back in time kind of. Remember in the 90s, no one had phones. You guys old enough?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, bro,
T, you're not old enough for the 90s.
I was a 90s baby,
know all this.
Okay.
I have
T, we had to back in the day, T, we had to when the first thing was pagers. And you had to convince your parents. So you asked for a pager, but you had to convince your parents that you weren't a drug dealer. Because if you asked for a pager, your parents automatically assumed you were a drug dealer. But you had to go, no. Not only am I not a...
But if you did get a pager, then you could start a drug dealing
business.
In
fact, that was the actual idea. It was the intent was to... No, Mom. And you could say it truthfully, I am not a drug dealer, but once I get this pager, all bets are off.
Things could change. Yeah,
things could change.
That's all you really need. Yeah, now I just need drugs.
That whole conversation was before my time.
I've set up the distribution chains. Now the only thing missing is this pager.
Remember back in the day, I'd say early 2000s, if you, let's say, were any sport, you had to wait on the telecast for the bottom line to go by to find out your score. That was how you found out. You couldn't just pick up your phone and look at the score. You know what I'm saying? There was no score app. You were so if you're at a bar, you're literally standing in front of the television and just waiting for all the scores to go by. And you would memorize where your score is on this, ticker. And people did it. I mean, we were fighters back then. We didn't just have our scores given to us. We had to actively go get them.
That's when you watch SportsCenter on loop for 6 hours every morning, watching the same highlights.
Well, in bars, they used to just have that up. It would be ESPN News was the station. Remember that?
Yeah.
And it would just be on the bottom, just scrolling by, and you're just all right, MLB, all the scores.
Dude, you had to pick up the phone and call your bookie. You had to call in
You actually called some Costa Rican call center, and there was somebody, and you just said, "Hey, this is what I want," and I don't know, it if you don't remember putting in a bet, you could call your book and he would play the recording for you. You'd be like, oh man, I did do that. Like, so you can listen to like you from the night before, which wasn't always the best thing. Like you probably didn't want to listen to that. You're like, why do I have $1,000 on the Colts? And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I did. I actually called that in.
Yeah. Yeah. I placed a bet on St. Bonaventure at 8:34 last night. I don't remember any of that.
Why
And
was
that
I
brings
so
me
drunk?
really that's the only piece of advice that I have for new gamblers. Like, I'm a big advocate. Look, when I was a young man, somebody gave me some of the best advice I've ever gotten in my life. And that was, don't break more than one law at a time.
That's smart.
Right? Yeah. Only
Mm-hmm.
do not break more than one law at a time. Only break one law at a time. So, like, if you're driving drunk, don't also have an Uzi in the car, right?
Smart. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That type
It's
of thing.
thinking right there. Yep.
That is. Well, I've only been arrested a couple times. In the
Yeah,
last
so you're good
42
then.
years.
It would have been twice as many times had you not followed that advice.
I think I'm
I'm
below
sorry,
the
twice as
national
many
average.
charges.
Twice as many
Yeah,
charges,
twice as many
or
charges.
you start to tack crimes on top of crimes, they become felonies that way. But
Mhm. That's
to
how
that
felonies work.
That's how felonies work.
Mhm.
To that same end, like I don't like. I'm a huge opponent of drinking and gambling at the same time.
Yes. What's better than that, though, Gunn? Seriously.
Well, I like
dead
here's-
serious.
Follow me. I like to get see the devil high, right?
Mhm.
Like I like to get so stoned that Satan's dancing on my shoulder, and then place my bets.
Okay.
Lock it up. Start watching. Start drinking. Then.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. But just cut it off, like the betting wise. You know what I mean? Like just, it's not hard. Like lay out your day, like your night.
Yeah.
Now you're done. So like no more brain. Like you don't need your, like whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Right.
You're going to accept it. You're going to be fine. It's whenever you go back in and try to manipulate it after you're, just gone that it's like, what are you doing?
Drunk
Like
chasing.
you just ruined, you just ruined your whole bank account. Like you could have lived with what was going to happen, even like the worst case scenario earlier today when you were like sober but now all of a sudden you're so much smarter and now you like something a lot that you hated a little while ago when you were actually placing bets. So like it's no, I'm with you, man. There's nothing better than just literally going out, watching a game, having a bet. I like the player props. You're following one guy around like the whole time and you're just watching the game and hoping it hits, obviously you want to find a good price. That's the smartest thing you can do. And that's about it though. Like it's either the guy's going to make the shot or catch the ball or he's not, you know what I mean? It wasn't like you're just watching it all play out now.
People don't realize that a lot enough in life. We live in a society where everybody's ridden with anxiety and fear and regret. It's like, look, shit's either going to go one way or another.
Yeah. We think we control so much more than we do.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, no, you don't, man. Like you really don't have any control of what's about to happen. Like it's whether you can live with it or not.
What's your favorite sport?
Depends on what the season is.
Really?
Basketball right now, football in September. Literally, I get baseball. Like, to be honest with you, man, I'm looking forward to like June, like K props. Like you're sitting by a pool, drinking beers and watching some guy hopefully get 4.5 strikeouts. Like that's fun. Like that's a good time. You know what I mean? But then I couldn't imagine doing that in October when there's football on. Does that make sense? Like,
it makes sense.
Like you just go through the whole year. Like we're coming up on a time where I can't get enough college basketball. Back in November, I didn't even know they were playing.
Right.
So it really depends on the season, man. I just want to bet on anything.
Right.
Yeah.
I like to bet on everything too. But dude, I'm not a very tenured or experienced baseball wagerer. However, one of my favorite wagers that I've ever placed in my life, I bet on. We had a local team from Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, kind of like a suburb of New Orleans. They made it to Little League World Series a couple years ago.
Yeah, the Little League World Series.
Yeah, and my bookie had lines on it.
Yeah,
so we were betting on 11-year-olds, dude. Yeah, we were betting on like 10 and 11-year-olds. And bro, I mean, like literally, let's not be responsible here. Let's get really stupid and large with these amounts. And we did. I got to tell you, Little Brothers pulled it off.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. It's a story you'll remember forever. I mean, it's the kids.
Right.
You got to love
One day
them.
in about 6 years, I'll buy one of those kids a beer.
Yeah, but you could buy one now for them.
That's true.
Kids
That's
probably
true.
drink,
They're like 13
you know?
now. So that's when I started drinking.
That's why I actually, you'll probably think you're the coolest guy in the world if you did.
I bet on you, and then I bought you a beer too. You're checking
mhm.
all the boxes.
I'm buying this beer with the money that I made on you as a 12-year-old playing baseball.
Not a problem.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I gotta ask John before we wrap up, and you're on a New Orleans focused media show. What
Don't
is
say,
up with
why
the
do
New
you
Orleans
hate New
hate?
Orleans so
Why
much?
do you hate New Orleans?
Wait, John, you hate New Orleans?
No, but T, no matter if you ever pick anything against T, I think he has like every handicapper on notifications, and if they pick against New Orleans, there he is.
That's
Like,
why
I take
him.
it personally. Yeah,
That's why he's
like
here.
the first
he
guy
went
in there.
under. He went under on Jonas Valanciunas' points, rebounds, assists one time, and I took that like I got shot.
Did it win?
I don't know. Probably.
It did win. Yes, it
You
won.
would know, but no one's keeping track.
I also took his over on the last night before the All-Star break, and did that win?
Probably.
No.
No.
So
Maybe
I'm just saying, what's up with New Orleans?
I don't know. I think he picked against the Saints one time, or did like a Panthers prop, and I was like, again. And I was.
It all started with the Saints. You go against the Saints, but they weren't the Saints this year. They had all kinds of nonsense happening. It was tough to gauge them. So there's inefficiencies whenever that happens. Whenever there's turnover here and there at this position, that position, especially on offense when you have Taysom Hill playing quarterback. You know, you could seriously though. I mean, you're going to have opportunities. But yeah, I just for the record, I do not hate New Orleans. Seems like a great place. Like you guys have a lot of fun. You have good sports teams. You have rabid sports bases, like the fan bases. So yeah, you check all the boxes in a good sports town.
What's so funny is I led off by saying it's President's Day. Dude, down here in South Louisiana, like nobody even knows it's President's Day. We don't recognize President's Day down here because it's so close to Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
So we get Mardi Gras off.
Monday.
Yeah, it's just Monday. Yeah. But next 2 weeks from now, it's gonna be like everybody's gonna be off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from schools, you know, because it's Mardi Gras and so like we like President's Day, like what does that even celebrate?
What is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we've got school. I'm in Massachusetts. We've got school up this week for I don't even know what February.
For what?
Yeah, back in the day when I was a kid, we only had like spring break and Christmas break.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was no February. I don't remember doing that. I think they did it up here, but I was in Florida and we didn't. We were just out.
Well, you know, John, the kids are so far ahead with education these days. I mean, they've been getting so much good time in front of the teachers that you know, especially the last couple of years.
They're ready to go.
Yes, they're like, we've got too much knowledge in our heads. Let's take a week off for President's Day.
Yep.
Yeah,
take some time off President's Day.
Prep them for the real world.
Well, that's what happens in real life. They're like, "What do you do all day?" I'm like, "Pretty much nothing." You know what I mean? Like,
you do this full time, right? This is your gig.
It started after COVID, like right around after COVID happened. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try to create content for different websites and see if that works. You know what I mean? Instead of go back to work. That was marketing. I was doing tout services back in the day. I mean, there was on the side, you know, you got those going on. It was just so I was always kind of into it, but not totally. You know what I mean? Not that's what you do. But then after COVID happened, I was like, you know what? All bets are off. You know what I memean? I'm gonna go try and do something I want to do.
We're not fans of touts here. You got any fighting words for touts? Anything to
bro,
share with touts out there?
The tiny thing, I don't hate them. I like to kind of not really make fun of them either, just because it's just funny. They're what you were talking about in the beginning. Remember when you were like, all right, well, these guys take themselves so serious, and they do, and it eats you alive because every a missed shot is the difference between you being really smart or a scam artist. Does that make sense? It's guys, I don't after a while, you're like, you know what? Why? What's the point of this? You know what I mean? I just want to have some fun. I don't of course you want to win, but you're basically just looking to entertain yourself and not go broke at the same time. That's the goal. Whereas the guy that thinks that he's going to get rich doing this is misguided because that's just not going to happen. And, you know, if you are following a tout that's really good, you've probably been following for a month. He's on a really good run. And that's why he's awesome right now. In about 3 weeks, you're going to hate them and you're going to be calling them a scam artist too, because that's just how this game works.
You want to find a tout that's been having a shitty run.
Yeah. No, seriously.
then
That's
jump
serious.
onto them.
Yep.
Well, we've all seen it. Like anybody that's gambled for any period of time, it's like I love it when I'm on a heater. You know, I'm like,
I always say I'm on a heater after one pick.
Oh yeah. Oh no. You're not. You're so humble. That's what I love about you. That's the thing about following. That's the fun thing about following you on Twitter is like every morning you're like, it's a great day to gamble today. Let's go find you woke up. You know, the clock went back an hour. We got an extra hour to gamble. You're trying to hype the world up. And I like the other day you were like, you know, there's really no sports that I know anything about today. But that's not going to stop me from gambling.
Yep.
Let's do a Mexican soccer parlay and get this party started. And some guys in your comments going, you know, sir, it's really not very healthy or responsible to bet on. You can take a day off. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What are you doing? How did you get to this account?
Yeah.
With with instincts that bad, like how are you still alive? You know what I mean? Like, how have you not like accidentally died? Because
how did you cross the street this morning? Yeah,
how
did you not fall getting out of bed this morning and hit your head?
That is just terrible advice.
Horrible advice.
Like, what are you doing? It was like Sunday or Saturday.
It was a Saturday.
Yeah, I was like, buddy,
disgusting.
Like, what are you doing? Like, you only get so many Saturdays. Like, I'm starting to get to the age where I'm old enough now to realize, like, yeah, I don't got that much time left. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I'm going out anytime soon, but like, you know what I mean? Gunn.
It's the second half.
Yeah, exactly. Back 9. So you start to realize, like, you know what? I'm not taking Saturdays off. Yeah. I'm in like my mid 40s. Like,
that's right.
You don't take Saturdays off. Like
Sundays. It's prime time.
No.
Sundays.
No, exactly. Like, what do you like? Especially, I got kids. You know, like,
oh yeah,
this is my time. You
right.
know what I mean? Like, and you'll understand that when you have kids. You know, you got kids, though, right, Gunn?
Yeah, I'm a full-time single dad. I raise a 13-year-old girl by myself.
Yeah, so you need this. Yeah, I have 3 daughters. I'm still married. I have my wife, so thank God because there's
congratulations on that,
bro. Hey, well, you know, but yeah, like you need.
You've earned this, right? You've earned these gambling days.
Just the idea, like as soon as I read that guy, I know exactly what you're talking about. I was just like, buddy, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing, man? Like,
seems like you're getting that a lot more lately too. Is these people just like trying to bring you down for like clearly a fun account?
People like to hate. I don't know.
It's all these Johnny come latelys.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? You'll get like the 1-800 gambler number. She's like, buddy, like
people push the hotline to you.
Yeah, you're like, buddy, like, what are you doing?
I aspire to that.
Yeah, I won't. I to be honest with you, I like the trolls. I think they're fun. The best part about Twitter is the trolls. Like it's just funny because like you'll get some off the wall response. You're like, man, that's actually kind of funny. I laugh at them a lot of times.
Are you familiar with the king of the trolls on gambling Twitter? A young man that lives up in Canada by the name of Benjamin? Ben the Better?
Yeah. No, that guy, a lot of people don't know that he's probably like really, really sharp.
I think so. I agree with you, John. I think he might be the sharpest guy in the whole gambling sphere. But he's just pulling an elaborate ruse on all of us.
He is. He has to be.
You can't be as bad as he is.
No.
And still, like, if you flip the number, I mean, like, T and I are trying to save up enough money to afford his Patreon. But it's a lot.
What's he charging these days?
$80 a month.
Okay, yeah, I mean that's a
lot.
That's a good ask.
Yeah.
Maybe worth it though.
It's so worth it.
We're doing the math.
If you just fade Ben the Better, dude. I mean, the numbers are there, and to his credit, I think there'd be a lot more Ben the Betters out there if everybody was as honest with their picks as he is.
Mm-hmm.
He's guilty of being honest.
Yeah, that's what you have to be in that whole space. To be honest with you, just be authentic and like just be yourself. Like, and don't like pretend to be anything. Except what he's doing though is he's kind of definitely pretending to be an idiot because there's no way he's that bad. Like, and if you look at some of his bets, it was the sharp side was the other side, and you're like, dude, I think I know what you're doing. I'm telling you, like he's definitely fading himself.
We have theories.
Like he has a model. Is that what you guys think?
We have a whole investigation that's been going on for months.
We're considering doing like an 8-part series, like Netflix style documentary on him.
Ooh.
There's been offers. He has flirted with coming on this show. I've made monetary overtures to get him on the show.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I would watch that show.
I think a lot of people
I would love to know that he's doing that. But if he does it, if he says that he's doing that, then now it's over. So it kind of sucks at the same time. You know what I mean? It kind of blows up like something fun that like everyone had theories on. I heard he's going to have a contest with the Trent guy.
Yeah, he got. I was going to say that's what I was leading to. Is he got in an argument with Trent? Which Trent? I don't want to call him. I mean, he's just a guy that asks people to pay money for his picks. And I think he was saying that he hadn't hit a parlay since the whole month of February. And so Ben started. Ben does what he does and started talking shit to the guy.
Nice.
And he also was talking shit to like a female Twitter gambling personality, which is the other thing that Ben does. And next thing you know,
what was he saying to the girl? Like he was mad at her?
He was mad at the girl for something, and then the Nate guy or whatever was like saying something, and Ben goes, "Without your sponsorships and your endorsements, you're just a regular guy." And the guy's like, "Well, that's how I fucking make my living." Like,
yeah, I mean,
I think Ben's a troll. I don't know that he's
right. Yeah, like technically he's right.
Ben's right about a lot of
every person ever like
that, but like it's kind of hard to ignore the sponsorships.
Mm-hmm. All right, he's like, if you didn't have this deal, you wouldn't be making money off this. And the guy's like, well,
if you weren't a millionaire, you'd be broke. And
that's right.
Yeah, like that's kind of how like money works. Like that's not like I don't understand like what the insult was there. No, but I love Twitter beefs. Like those are the most fun things to watch. I mean, because you don't know what these guys are going to say to each other. You don't know what's going to come out of it. And you just see them just going at each other while you're sitting over there just trying to find a game to gamble on later.
Yeah.
Keeps you entertained. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of times there's really nothing to bet on it. What time is right now? It's like 10:30 where I am.
Mm-hmm.
There's really nothing going on right now. But Twitter beefs,
Twitter beefs are always there.
24/7.
Well, what's great is somebody's going to put up odds on Ben against the other. So like when Ben took on the Turtle last year, Bodog had odds on it, or Bovada had odds on it.
Who's the Turtle?
The Turtle won.
Oh,
the
Turtle won? Yeah, Ben has lost. His record is 0-2.
Okay,
he's lost the Turtle.
He's due.
A tortoise, actually.
It's a tortoise.
Yeah, as an old animal, a very aged animal. They might be from another planet. And then he lost to somebody's like preschool age child. Somebody put their preschool daughter.
That's a bit. I kind of want to see him like flip, like just do a full like. Would that be a heel turn?
I think he's already a heel right now. I think he's ready for a face turn. I think he's about to turn face.
Yeah. Like I'm confused because I know he has to be fading himself because his model I believe is actually pretty good because if he's taking the other side of all these bets, it's like, dude, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I would like to see if what do you call it, a face turn? Like the old school wrestling?
Yeah.
Do you watch wrestling when you're young?
I love wrestling.
Okay. Yeah. I remember that when I was a kid, man, I couldn't get enough. I watched the wrestling shows and the tout shows right after.
Yeah.
And they were so similar. And just like not the wrestling, obviously the wrestling matches, but like more of like the interviews. Remember how they would just talk shit to each other? That was my favorite part. And then you'd watch the tout show literally would come on after that. And it was the same thing. You're just like, this is just great. Like, what a world.
People are thinking that since Ben is taking on another human that is actually going to be trying and there's just not going to be random and chance that Ben may defeat this guy this week.
I'm pulling for him.
I think he could. I'm kind of like, I don't mind Trent. Like a lot of people hate him. I think he's funny. Like,
seems like an okay guy.
What he is. You know what I mean? Like he brings humor to it. And I can laugh at anything. So I'm looking for humor. You know what I mean? And like sports picks, you can dissect someone's articles. You know, even if they are funny, you can find something in there that you're like, oh, you know what? I didn't know that. Like that's actually worth knowing. Like a stat or something. I hate to say that, but you know what I mean. I call it an angle.
It's an angle. Your articles are funny.
Thank you.
And you post, I know you're over at oddschecker.com.
Great site.
and you're usually posting there. Often you'll grace us with more than one pick a day.
Usually I like to do one early in the
Mhm.
morning after coffee, and
Right.
then one generally once something opens up in the prop market, because then you see how the NBA works.
Right.
Like you're kind of crazy to be betting in the morning.
I
Like, you
try
gotta
to
wait
tell
until
Young
someone comes
T.
out,
I
like,
try to
yeah.
tell Young T over here because he'll text me. He's an hour ahead of time. He'll text me at like 7 a.m. local time, my time, and go, "Hey, I got my NBA picks in," and I'm like, "Bro, you
I do
can't
my
do
best
like you
thinking in the
got to wait
morning.
till later in
I
the
hear
day.
you.
That's when
No,
I have
I'm
my
with
free
it. Well,
time.
write it down then.
Write it down. Don't
Yeah,
press
write
the
it
fucking
down,
button yet.
and then save it
Yeah.
for like
I'm
later
terrified.
whenever
I
they
have to get it
realize
in as
that
soon as it.
well, Brandon Ingram's not playing tonight. Well,
Right.
that definitely changes the
Yeah.
Pelicans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Chris
Yeah,
Like,
no,
Paul
you're right.
sprained his thumb last
Yeah.
night.
My
yeah,
you have your Mitch Robinson, my new guy is Jackson Hayes, because the books have not caught up to him being in the starting four yet.
yeah, he needs to be starting. That guy, because if he doesn't get the minutes, then you're not. I'm not that I'm saying you're not guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed, but like you're not guaranteed the full Jackson Hayes experience.
Right. But you're still
Which
getting
is
like
what you
over
want.
6.5 point lines and things, and like
Yeah,
over
yeah, no,
4.5
those are
rebounds.
crazy on him. I know what you're saying. See, my Mitch.
My Mitch.
Yes, have you met Mitch yet? I mean, have
No,
y'all like
I would
y'all
love to
don't
meet
go out to
Mitch.
dinner
Like,
yet?
I love to watch him play because he is so funny. What
Is he, a center? He's like a 7-footer.
Yeah, he's like a 7-footer. He's over by the rim. He is a dunker and a layup guy. He's a putback guy.
Isn't he an LSU guy too?
Grab some
I think he's a Louisiana guy.
I don't think he's from LSU.
I
but
don't think
could
so.
be very wrong.
To be honest with you, I feel horrible right now.
I don't think he's. I don't
even
think he's from Louisiana at all. I think T is distracted by my hat with the Louisiana State flag on it.
He
Maybe
went
I'm
to
thinking of
Western Kentucky.
Yeah,
I was close.
That's
He was
close.
Oh, he's a
That is
Florida
close.
guy. He's a Florida guy. He was.
Close.
Oh my God, Mitch was born on April 1st, 1998.
Born on April Fool's
He's
Day.
from Florida, so he's my guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's just like I said. I love the dunkers that are 9.5 points on FanDuel. Like, so some nights you'll get 8.5, and you could get them 10 plus at plus odds. And you're like, dude, he's not going to get 9 because that would mean he has to hit how's he going to get there? That's 5 dunks. He gets 4 dunks or 5 dunks. Like, that's what happens. And then every now and then you'll get like he'll flirt with a 20-20 game where he ddid literally nothing but dunk. And,
he hangs.
And like 7 of the rebounds are off his missed like layups.
Gets his own rebounds.
He gets his own
I like
rebounds.
that. That's
my
extra,
favorite.
extra,
I love
extra
that.
props, extra stats.
That's such a Mitch guy. I don't know. He's a big fan of that guy.
Come Thursday, I'll start betting on Mitch with you, man.
Yeah, no, I'm
a believer.
He's something to watch. Like I said, you watch him play offense. He just kind of hangs out down behind the backboard a lot of times.
It's not even the dunker spot. He looks a little lost out there often.
And then he'll set a high pick out by the 3-point line and just go in for an alley-oop, which that's always fun. Yeah, no, if you're not betting Mitch, I'm telling you, man, you don't know what you're missing. Like, it should be a full 30 minutes of fun, but he does foul out a lot. Not a lot, but you'll see some of the dumbest fouls you've ever seen. And it's like, damn, Mitch, like, why did you just do that? I'm talking like a reach-in foul above the 3-point line on a guard. It's like, dude, you didn't have it. You were never going to get that.
Right.
Like,
he's
why
excited.
did you slap
he's excited.
that guy? Yeah, no, he gets fired up, man. He's trying.
Yes.
Mitch is a passionate guy. You'll see him dunk, and he'll do his muscles at him. He's like,
And he plays for the Knicks. The Knicks are probably leading at that point as he's flexing, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just sometimes he will get you 8. Like, I've seen him get 8 in the first quarter and not cover.
That's great.
One night on a Saturday night, he got us, I think it was to 8, but he needed 8.5. He missed 5 free throws in the fourth quarter. So, you saw him go to the free throw line 2 times and miss both. And all you needed was a point. So, I mean, he'll frustrate you. But again, it's all part of the Mitchell Robinson experience.
He's not one of these damn 7-footers that's hanging out by the 3-point line.
No. He's old school.
Drives me up a wall.
Mm-hmm. He's old school. I think he said on his Twitter the other day that he gets his in the mud. And I'm like, man, I love this guy.
Yeah.
What a great guy.
Mud. T, you got any other questions for John?
No, I don't. He reassured me that he does in fact not hate New Orleans, which makes me feel so much better.
Do not hate New Orleans.
So you got college basketball this week. Anything in the top of your head you're riding? Or I know you've been doing some props in college.
I just kind of found out that you can really do props on a lot of the games. I thought it was only March Madness. Like last year it was March Madness. I remember taking a couple props, but then someone sent me saying, "Hey, you can do college props now." It's like, wait, I don't remember that. But again, I don't really do a lot of college basketball until now.
Right.
Like this is when like you want to like watch the conference tournaments are fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just a lot of fun.
Yes.
And then obviously the March Madness tournament, really the first weekend for me. After that, I mean, you're looking at like a fraction of the field. So, you can kind of start headed to back to the NBA literally full time just until baseball and the hockey playoffs.
And you've got like South American soccer.
You always have Mexican soccer that you can fall back on. And to be honest with you, in Europe, they seem to play every day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like,
You
all
get the
the
weird
time.
leagues.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they play a lot.
Apparently, soccer is a big deal.
They have multiple competitions.
A lot of leagues
at the same time. It's very hard. You try to explain it to an American, and we're not supposed to understand how it works.
No, I don't exactly, and that's the thing. Like, I'll always say, like, "Oh, are they playing soccer today?" Like as a joke, just because wow. But no, they do play every single day. And also, too, one thing is you don't ask touts or cappers or anybody to tell you what league the soccer team that you're betting on is in.
I see that. Guys are asking you. You're placing bets. You're placing soccer. You're giving away free winners. Slop's giving away free winners. And these guys have the obligation to jump up in his shit and ask him, what league are you betting on? And he's like, that's not important.
Exactly. I don't hate them for it. I just think they haven't thought it through. This is probably young guys who don't understand that betting soccer, half the fun, half the allure is finding the league that the team is in. Because there's a million, like hit the lobby and draft. It's ridiculous. Like there's just a million games, a million leagues.
Every league ever.
And it's like, no, that's part of it. And then someone else said, don't forget the random parlay that you accidentally put in a game for next Sunday.
Right.
And I'm like, that happens too. That's fun because you totally forget you even have that 2 weeks later whenever your game finally goes off. But you wouldn't have that if the person told you what league it's in. That's all I'm saying.
I used to work at this place with a bunch of other degenerates, and we all got in with the same
odds checker.
No, it was a car dealership like a decade ago.
Oh, but yeah, those are the best places.
Oh yeah. I like to just. I no longer obviously work in that field, but I like to just go there and place bets. I like to just go to the car dealership and start waiting.
I was a bartender. I think there's a lot of parallels. There's a lot of parallels in those.
But dude, we would be betting on shit at like 9 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. Sports that we didn't know the rules to. They're like, there's a cricket match going on. Over in Turkey.
Know the rules.
We don't know the rules.
Who's gonna win?
We don't even know how long it's gonna last. We don't know if they're playing to a certain number.
If you're winning or not.
We don't know how they keep score. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, those are great. Ours was the Korean baseball before Korean baseball.
That was big during the pandemic.
Like
right?
Before that.
This
was that like whenever you had the 2 a.m. shifts. I mean, that's when the bars closed.
Yeah.
So like you would just something was on.
Are you going to check out the USFL at all?
Maybe that's the thing. It goes back to the seasonal thing. Like, how can you possibly be watching football in April? You know what I mean? Like, I can. I'm gonna try. But it's just like for me, like I'm just so clogged up with NBA. The playoffs are about to start. The hockey playoffs start. Which I mean, if you're not watching playoff hockey, try it. It's like a war.
It's
like on ice.
Yeah, it's like a top 2 playoff sport.
It's insane. So then now you got that, and then you got baseball starting up with the pitcher props. Like, truth be told, I'm not a big baseball guy at all. Like, once the pitcher is gone from the game, I don't even know who won. Like, I'm done with that game.
The first 5. You're doing the first 5 innings or something.
Yeah, just when whatever the starter's gone. Like, so let's say I got a guy over 4.5 strikeouts plus 110. Yeah. That game lasts as long as that guy's in, or until he gets 4.5. I don't even know how many he ended up with. I just know he had 5.
I was betting on those. They let the 9-year-olds go much longer than that.
They're on
Yeah.
an
In the
80,
World
80
Series.
pitch count.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on a much higher pitch count.
So whenever, like I said, whenever that pitcher's gone, then I'm gone. So, but still, like, you're still paying attention to that. You're still capping that. And then now you're supposed to have the energy for football, which takes energy. You know, like, it's because you're going to watch that game. You're going to be into that game. And I'm going to be more mad if I lost one of those bets than if I lost one of the baseball ones, because, you know, there's just a million baseball ones.
I'm glad T asked you about the USFL, and I'm glad that I learned that it sounds like you don't really have a whole lot of knowledge about the USFL, because it leads to like my final question for you, and it sounds like you're in a really good spot to answer this. Can you go ahead and give us a preseason who's going to win it all in the USFL? Which of the 8 franchises do you think is going to win the league? I don't even see it offered yet anywhere as a futures bet.
I can walk you through my process.
Okay.
How about that? So
good.
not only will I give you a pick, I'll actually walk you through.
I'm going to be a little intimidated if you actually know all 8 teams.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do right now, the first thing, when you get asked a question like that, the first thing you do, you Google USFL.
That's right.
Because what you want to know is what are the teams that are in this?
What are my options? I'm going to have to name. I'm going to have to name one of 8 cities. I don't want to name a city that's not participating in the USFL, because that can hurt the brand.
Yep, you're outed for being dumb. Like, right away, they're like, you know what? This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, that's not even a team.
One day we're going to be like Slob. Give us a year.
So now.
They did just do the lotteries. We know the draft order. That's about the extent of what we have.
I know there's 8 teams, and New Orleans is one of them.
What's the draft order? Yes, I just learned that there is the New Orleans Breakers, which is nice. Larry Fedora is the coach.
Excellent name.
He's a great name. I'm excited. We're gonna have Larry on the podcast.
He's gonna have to wear the hat.
He's gonna wear a Kangol. Yeah.
Tampa Bay Bandits have Todd Haley. The Michigan Panthers, New Jersey Generals. That's some nostalgia.
They're all the same teams from the original USFL.
Yes, that's the problem. I didn't know
in the same locations though.
They are, but this year they're actually playing all, I think, in Birmingham.
But T, like, guys that are Slop and I's age, like, while we were technically alive when the original USFL was going on, bro, we had no idea what was going on.
Well, I can't imagine that they're going to maintain the same rosters before.
I was very young. I remember
we had the World's Fair. We had a World's Fair going on in 1984.
Yep.
There was some Olympics going on in 1984. The USFL was not on our radar back then.
Herschel Walker. That was what I remember about that. And I think Doug Flutie played in there.
Jim Mora, the former coach of the Saints.
They had other guys. They came into the NFL, but like the big draw was like Herschel Walker. They were going to pay him like a ton of money, and they were going to overtake the NFL. I think Trump was in on that.
He was one of the,
he had
part of the ownership
group. That USFL, that had a lot of characters in there.
Yes.
So hopefully the sequel can be as good as the original, because that was just a shit show, but a good shit show.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think this is going to be a fantastic shit show. Apparently, all the games now. I don't know if this is going to factor into. I don't want to give you too much information.
Yep.
I don't want to give you information overload.
I've already got it figured out.
My understanding is that all the games are going to be played in Birmingham, Alabama. They're not going to. So so your New Jersey folks aren't going to play in New Jersey, and Michigan's not going to play in the state of Michigan. Everybody's playing in the football mecca of Birmingham,
Alabama. So I looked it up. I'm pretty much an expert now. I've already Googled it. I see the teams right now. They're right in front of me. There's the location just says Birmingham, Alabama for all of them. And then they actually have the stadium listed for all of them, which happens to be the same stadium.
Yes.
Since they're all in Birmingham.
It would be fun if they all got like their own local high school in Birmingham to use.
Then the turf listed for all of them. Because,
that's important.
Yeah. And then the capacity of the stadium, 47,100 to 71,000 for all
big
of them.
home field.
No way they're seeing
every
that
team.
So it's pretty much
going to be a sellout every week.
Yeah, I mean, if you got 47,000 people to one of these games, I would be shocked. Like even like a big one.
They have TV rights. It's going to be on Fox, and it's going to be on all the major networks.
What they did with that other league wasn't bad. I mean, I remember I had an over here or there.
I bet a lot on that league.
You know what I mean? Like it was just more something that research wise, like you're watching the game and you're like, wow, I had no idea that guy was on the team. You know what I mean? Like you had money on it already. It's been going on for weeks and no clue that somebody good was on one of those rosters.
Sometimes one or maybe one of those guys like actually make it to the NFL the next year, and you go, hey, that guy played in this now defunct
Remember,
league last year.
PJ
He's
Walker.
I was going to say PJ Walker
Yeah,
and the Panthers.
It was fun, man. That guy was
Yeah.
a lot of fun. So like that could happen. I'll tell you right now, though, the Houston Gamblers
Ooh,
probably be my pick to win. I mean, you got to like the name. Houston, I mean, they're due for a parade.
Checking all the boxes.
Yeah, I mean, they got Kevin Sumlin's their coach. I mean, he coached
Kevin
in the
Sumlin.
SEC. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's that. So we'll see. We'll have to. I mean, obviously, we're going to need to see some rosters.
Yes.
But right now, my early lean
is
the Houston Gamblers. I am aware that they aren't playing in Houston. So I mean, I know a lot about this league right now, a lot more than I did.
You've just become the leading USFL analyst.
So that was my process right there.
I've got some breaking analysis for you.
Let's hear it.
So Larry Fedora, who's the coach of the New Orleans Breakers, formerly the coach of the University of Southern Mississippi. So he's kind of a local favorite because Hattiesburg, Mississippi is about 2 hours due north of New Orleans.
Okay.
My understanding is Southern Miss plays on artificial turf, and so if these games are also going to be taking place on artificial turf,
yep, they are. I've confirmed it.
At this stadium in Alabama, in Birmingham, Alabama, I feel like that's an early advantage to the New Orleans Breakers.
That makes sense. No, I can tell you right now, you already sound like T.
Oh, I've been doing. Yeah, see, I like to just go with my heart.
Just
But
doing his best impression.
he's influenced me to start doing a little research.
You definitely already sound like T, so that's good. No, I would say it could come down to those two teams. Actually, I don't know if it could because I think they're in the same division. I'm pretty
Does
sure.
that matter?
You already know more than we both do.
I
didn't know there was divisions.
I'm going to look and
Is
see
there two
how
divisions with 8 teams?
Yes. Yep.
Fuck.
Yeah, 2 with 4 in each.
This is going to be like a Pop Warner Jamboree style schedule. They play every team every week.
Yeah, it could
I
go.
almost feel
Yeah,
like I almost feel like I don't want to learn any more about the USFL right now because I'm becoming.
No, I hear you. Dude, I'm just not ready for it.
We've already opened up Pandora's box.
Yeah, so basically, we've already picked 2 of the 8 teams. So I mean, like we have a shot at winning this thing.
Yeah.
It's just if they we would probably be smarter to have 1 from each division, but I don't even know that that's how they do it. Like you might be able to play in like whatever the Super Bowl is, the UFSL Bowl.
I feel like
if
we have to, we like The Rock, and I understand The Rock is not affiliated with the USFL. I understand that he's the owner of the XFL, but I feel like if maybe you tuned into his Instagram page in about 8 weeks, he'll probably tell you the rules for the USFL.
Yeah. How different are the rules?
Right.
Are they?
What are the rules?
Yeah. Are there rules?
Are there rules?
Yeah, because there was the XFL. Remember that? Like there was pretty much no rules. Like that was like the draw.
Yeah,
they did this thing. They did this thing to try. Yeah, they were very forward thinking about CTE. So rather than flip a coin, they had a 10-yard train wreck for the opening possession.
I mean, that was just awesome.
It was really awesome.
I mean,
the original XFL was fucking outstanding.
That was crazy. Remember, He Hate Me?
Made it to the NFL.
Yep,
that's Rod Gilmore or something.
Rod Smart. He went
Smart.
to the Panthers, and they actually went to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
So
He Hate Me.
After that, with He Hate Me.
John, thank you so much for your time, man.
My pleasure.
Dude. I mean, we want to. I want to be your friend.
That's cool. I want to be your friend too.
Yeah, let's be friends.
That's big.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your insight today. T, thank you again, guys. As always, you can find us here on Boot Crew Media. If you want to find the pod stream, search us out at Taking the Over with Billy Gunn, wherever you get your pods. And John, we have a tradition on this show. We always ask our guests to say good night to all of the beautiful people listening all over the world. So please say that to them.
Good night to all the beautiful people listening across the world.
This man is a professional. He got it right the first time. Thank you, sir.
Coffee.
Kisses, hugs, loves. Bye. We'll see you next week.